Okay, ready?
That's why.
Testing, testing.
Now we're good.
Testing. This meeting of the Oak Park City Council is called to order. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk Ed Norris, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Here.
Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Weiss.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Next, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we have the consent agenda. These are routine items presented without discussion. Any council member can ask to have one of them dropped and considered separately. A, regular council meeting minutes of August 6, 2018. B, Planning Commission meeting minutes of April 9th. Request to approve the calendar year 2019 free garage sale dates. Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission meeting minutes of July 12th. Request to advertise for bids for the 2018 water system upgrades, project M691, and licenses, new and renewals, is submitted for August 20th. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That carried. We have no elected officials here, so we will go to City Manager Tungate. Well, first we'll go to Stephen Gold, who has a few words to tell us before we present him with a certificate of appreciation. Stephen Gold, Oak Park resident.
I had an eye exam.
Is that on?
I had an eye exam today, and my pupils are dilated, so it easily gives me blurry, so that's why I got this here. Okay. Testing? Okay, great. I'd like to call Director Cooper up to the podium with me.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, council members, City Manager Tungate, Director Cooper, and city officials. I have been a resident of Oak Park for over 60 years, so I was here when Glenford Leonard first created the Department of Public Safety. The department has been through many challenges and changes over the years, and the current leadership team, and notice that word team, has instilled a culture and a level of service we can all be proud of. But to be effective, any public safety department needs the support of residents and businesses it serves, and that's why I am here. We have a new officer on the force, K-9 Officer Mays, and the community has recognized his worth by donating items to the K-9 unit, which have not been budgeted for, such as a vest, first aid kit, bite suit, and most recently, a temperature monitoring device to ensure his safety when he is in his vehicle, which he doesn't drive. Unfortunately, there is an unbudgeted yearly cost for the temperature monitoring service. So today, I am donating $1,000 to be used towards funding that service. Now, I'd also like to say one of the most important things we can do as residents is to ensure that our officers are always aware that we appreciate everything they do and what they do for us. And I would like to see, we have a Friends of the Library organization. You know, they assist the library with various projects and outgoing like that. And I'd like to see, I would hope that one day we could have perhaps a Friends of Public Safety organization, similar to the Friends of the Library, that would be able to assist the department in unbudgeted expenses, such as things like especially community outreach. There is nothing, okay, maybe the second most important thing the department does is community outreach. First is keeping us safe and fire and all that sort of stuff. But anyways, I would like to present to Director Cooper this check. I would present it directly to Mays, but I was afraid he might eat it. So please accept on my behalf for the department this donation, a token, basically donation for everything that you and your department does for us residents.
If I could just say a couple words. When Mr. Gold had contacted me a couple months ago and stated he was going to present the Public Safety Department with such a generous donation, obviously, you know, we were overwhelmed with budgets being tight as they are. And a lot of times you have to make difficult choices as far as what you're going to fund and what you're not going to fund. I've known Mr. Gold for many years, and throughout all of those years, he has always supported public safety. Anytime I've called him or asked him to assist us in any way, he's been the first one to step up to the plate. And that's just indicative of the residents that we have here in the city of Oak Park. Like I said, I can't thank you enough, and I know on behalf of the entire Public Safety Department, you know, we sincerely appreciate it. This will go to great use, and it does help to further our cause and keeping the community safe, along with our community outreach. So again, on behalf of the Public Safety Department, my sincerest gratitude and thank you for such a generous donation. God bless you, and we love you.
Group picture? Yes. We'd like you to come up for a group picture because we have a certificate of appreciation. We would love to give you something small just to let you know how much we appreciate what you're doing. Are we centered over the, you take the landscape off?
I'm going to take a couple here. Everybody ready? Smile, everybody. Comes up,
When something bad happens in the news, we all get upset about it, and we all realize that there are really more good people than bad. And here's one of them. Now we're down to item 10 on the agenda. Item 10 is a request for special event license and waiver of fees submitted by Tom Zarafa, 24320 Seneca, for the annual Seneca Street Block Party to be held on September 9th. Is there a motion to approve this request?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. 10B, request for special event license and waiver of fees submitted by Michaela Zuckerberg, 24311 Rensselaer, for the annual Rensselaer Street Block Party held September 8th. Is there a motion to approve the request?
So moved. Second.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 11A is accounting reports. We need approval for payment of invoices submitted by Garen Luca Miller, PC, for legal services in the amount of $16,815.26.
So moved.
Support.
Support, discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Burns,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 12. This is a request to award the bid of the 2018-19 Catch Basin Line Replacement Project, M687, to Lacarius Concrete Construction of Detroit, Michigan, for the total amount of $205,220. Is there a motion to award the bid?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes. Our Assistant City Manager, Kevin Yee, is coming to the podium. Councilmember Burns.
Yes, my one question is in regard to the cost. I see that the huge difference between the bids is the cost of the sewer 10-inch 40 PVC pipe. My question is $39 a foot versus $150 or $110 a foot. Do you think we would suffer in quality because we're taking the low bid on that pipe? You think it makes a difference with the price?
Thank you. No, I'm not concerned about that price. It's a shallow catch basin repair, so it's shallow pipe. It's not very deep. $39 a foot, I feel, is more than adequate to cover the costs to install that line. I think the other bidders may not have done as much research as Lacaria and maybe didn't review where the locations were and the depths were. But I feel like $39 a foot is an inadequate compensation for that bid item.
Okay, so it is adequate? Or
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Any further questions? Yes.
Just a quick clarification. On the bid tabulation sheet, it has the total cost for each company. What is the thing under here that says Audio Concrete Construction for $264,000?
So generally, we put the itemized bid tabs for the 3 lowest bidders, and then any other bidders, we don't put the itemized tab in. So they were another bidder, we just didn't put that, there's not enough room on the spreadsheet.
Got it.
So usually people want to compare the 3 lowest to just kind of see where they stand against each other's bid prices. So
Okay.
they were just another bidder that we didn't itemize out.
Thank you.
Ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Thank you.
Mayor McClellan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rich,
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next, we're in the City Manager section. City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. 15A, I'm going to call on our city clerk, Ed Norris, to cover for us, please.
Thank you. One of our polling places for the November election will be unavailable to us, just like it was in August, where we are normally at Avery Elementary School. That's going to be unavailable to us, so we're going to, Berkeley School District has made available Norup International School for Precinct 1 for that election. So we need to formally approve a move of that, and that's what's before you tonight.
Okay. So we need a resolution authorizing the temporary move of one polling location for the November 6th, 2018 general election.
So moved?
Second?
Moved and seconded. I wondered, just nosy, why isn't it available?
There was construction at that building in the fall. It is back in service, but it's not available for us
Got it.
at this time.
And also, how will voters be informed?
They'll be contacted, know there's a temporary move, just as we did in August. So they're mailed a card.
Mailed a card, and there'll be a sign on the building?
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, just one question.
Yes.
You says that it'll be communicated to the voters that it affects by card in the mail?
That's correct.
Will that
First
just
class
be-
mail.
Okay, will that be once or twice before the election?
It'll be once before the election, and then we will also make that available on the website, and we'll also go out in our publication that we do this fall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just, wanted to make sure that the voters are aware in enough time that their polling location is changed, because we had an issue, no fault of ours, in the August election. I just would hate to see some voters not be able to get the chance to vote because of a miscommunication, or they were not aware that their polling location is changed.
Well, we'll try to prevent that. That's the idea of having the notification.
Okay.
So,
Robocalls might be nice too, because they're very inexpensive, so.
We ready to vote on that one? Okay, we're voting on the resolution to move. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
City Clerk Ed Norris, 15B as well, please.
thank you. Each year, the council is required to set their schedule for the next year, and before you tonight is a resolution scheduling those meetings. We do it this time of year because we have the calendar deadline coming up, so we like to make sure they're in the calendar. Just to note that the schedule is typically the first and third Mondays of each month, but you can see that sometimes those fall on a national holiday, and there's a special holiday, so therefore those meetings are different. So what we have is a resolution scheduling those meetings for the calendar year 2019.
Okay, and there are no holiday conflicts?
Do we need a motion?
No?
I think we need a motion first.
So we need a motion to adopt this resolution for the regular meeting schedule.
So moved?
Second.
Seconded? Any discussion or questions?
Yeah, I have a
Yes.
question.
Mhm.
October 23rd,
Mhm.
what holiday?
Religious holiday, okay, that's
October
all right.
21st.
I mean, October 21st.
Madam Mayor, I think that's the
Shemini Atzeret.
the last day of the festival of Sukkot.
Okay,
And so Solomon and I would not be here.
okay, so that's why we're moving it, is that correct?
That's why the clerk was on top of things, looked at the calendar and figured it out and brought it to our attention.
Good.
So we thank the clerk for that.
Any other questions? Yes.
Under November 11th, it says organizational meeting. Is that not a normal council meeting?
That's the one after the election, right?
That's the first meeting after the election.
Oh, okay.
First Monday after the Tuesday election.
Okay.
It's like standard.
We don't have a very long lame duck period here.
Got it.
Yes, this is true. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. City Clerk. I'd like to ask Public Safety Director Steve Cooper to join me at the podium for 15C, resolution adopting the Oakland County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Good evening again, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. Before you, as the city manager stated, we have the request for the adoption of the Oakland County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Every 5 years, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, commonly known as FEMA, requires local governments to develop and adopt a hazard mitigation plan as a condition for receiving both pre-disaster assistance as well as post-disaster assistance funds. In 2017, the Oakland County Homeland Security Division, in conjunction with the Integrated Solutions Incorporated, the local emergency planning committee, and representatives from each community drafted a new plan which is submitted to FEMA. Oakland County has received conditional approval of the plan pending adoption by all local governments. And I'm before council here today asking you to approve the adoption of the Oakland County Hazard Mitigation Plan in the form of a resolution. The plan is actually several hundred pages in length, and I have included the website if you care to go on that website and actually review the entire plan. It's quite extensive, but like I said, I'm asking council if you would adopt that in the form of a resolution.
Madam Mayor, so moved.
Okay,
Support?
discussion? Questions? No? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This has been adopted then.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Director Kim Maroney to join me at the podium for 15D Complete Streets Plan.
Good evening. I'm in front of you to just make you aware of something that the Planning Commission recently adopted at their last meeting. It is our City of Oak Park Complete Streets Plan. If you recall, a few months ago, I came to this body to ask them to approve a resolution to adopt a Complete Streets Plan, which is also required to continue receiving Act 51 money from the state of Michigan. Colton Dale in my office recently completed the plan after several months of research, looking at other communities and best practices. We presented the plan to the Planning Commission at their meeting last Monday, and it was unanimously approved. So I just wanted to make everyone on this body aware. The idea behind it is to come up with guidelines and designs, so when we do projects moving forward, we consider every form of transportation, not necessarily planning projects through this, but when we do any projects that we will consider those.
Okay, are there any questions about the Complete Streets Plan? Yes.
How will the plan be available for residents if they were wanting to read it or review it?
Yeah, we're going to be putting that on our website this week, so it will be under the Community and Economic Development page and also the planning page.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. All set?
Yep.
Thank you so much. No action is needed from council on that item.
15E, I would like to request Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee to join me at the podium, please.
Thank you. Attached is a copy of Amendment Number 3 to the water service contract between the Great Lakes Water Authority and the City of Oak Park. This amendment clarifies some contract language as well as revises our annual volumes of the contract. Overall, these revisions will not change our base wholesale rates. It is recommended that City Council approve this Amendment Number 3 to the Great Lakes Water Authority, with the Great Lakes Water Authority, and authorize the mayor, city manager, and city clerk to sign the contract on behalf of the city upon final approval from the city attorney's office. Like I had mentioned, this will not change our base rates, and in fact, we hope to have a reopener after a period of time with Dave DeCoster running our water system. We think that we may be able to lower our rates over time, so we're hoping to be able to prove that to the Great Lakes Water Authority and try reducing our rates over the next year or two. So.
Wow. So we need a motion to approve this Amendment Number 3.
So moved?
Second?
Moved and seconded. Are there questions about this? No. Do we need a roll call on this? Yep. Well, thank you. Roll call vote.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we are at call to the audience. Please, if you'd like to say something, come on up, give us your name and address, and take about 3 minutes to say your piece. Boy, it's a talkative group out there. Nobody? All right. Okay, well, buckle your seatbelts because I have a few items here. One of them is we have 4 residents who have served the city of Oak Park on boards or commissions for 30 years. Or more in some instances. So on our beds, our sunflower beds outside of the community center, there are plaques, and we are going to invite these people to come and have pictures taken with their plaque in front of the sunflowers, because sunflowers stand for hope, and they have certainly brought hope to the city with their contributions over a long time. And the people who will be honored are Joyce Schulman, Lou Landau, Retha Richmond, and Sharon Chudnow. So thanks to those residents for many years of service to the city. City Manager Tungate and I were interviewed for an article about Oak Park to be published in the Free Press. They think it's going to be in tomorrow, so check tomorrow's Free Press. Now that the state political parties have completed their nominating process this past weekend in Lansing, as voters, learn what you can do to prepare for voting this fall. If you would like to vote absentee, please go through those procedures. Then you don't have to worry about the weather on election day. We want you all to vote, and I've been assured that every voter has a ballot in this one. There's no shortage. Also, I wanted to let you know that Pamela Schreiman wrote in, I want to compliment Officer Giannopoulos. She was kind, compassionate, and efficient. And Pamela came into the mayor's office and wrote that down, made a special trip in to thank her for that. So thanks to Officer Giannopoulos, and thanks to Mrs. Schreiman. Because of the heat, cooling center will be available for those without air conditioning in the community center. Everyone in Detroit is celebrating the life and contributions of Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, who gave us music that will give us joy forever. And her life is going to be celebrated this week. I can guarantee you that Oak Park Pool is going to the dogs. I have pictures to prove it. That is an Airedale, I think, resident of Oak Park, who came and enjoyed a nice swim. The dogs had a great time, and anyone who was there was smiling. They had a period with the small dogs, and then they had the medium-sized dogs, and then they had a separate one for the big giant dogs. And it's one of my favorite days, just watching those dogs have a great time. Sure to bring a smile to everyone's face. Drive carefully this Labor Day weekend, and thank you for coming. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you all for coming out, and have a good night.
Thank you. Councilwoman Burns.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I would like to say a safe trip to all of our collegiate students that are returning to college over the next couple of weeks. I'd also like to say that our days are getting shorter. Yeah, so it's getting dark quicker.
Yeah.
Please be cognizant of that. And also Monday at our Planning Commission, we also approved the site plan for Coolidge Place, a 64-unit affordable housing on Coolidge between 8 and
8.5.
8.5. Mile. It's 1, 2, and 3 bedroom styles by Sparrow Housing. So I had that fell off the radar because I hadn't heard anything about it, but we are moving forward. So we approved the site plan.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry? I'm not sure if it's senior housing. I know it's affordable housing. 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms.
Thank you. Councilmember Weiss.
I just want to let everyone know that the farmer's market is still going on every Wednesday through September 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day. And that is sponsored by Humana and Beaumont, so we are grateful to them for that. Autumn Fest is also coming up. It's going to be on Saturday, September 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m. And the farmer's market will be starting at 11 that day. So the farmer's market will be going on throughout Autumn Fest. So if you can't make it on Wednesdays normally, you could come that day. Also, Boo Bash is coming up, so mark your calendars for that. Halloween, as always, October 31st in the evening. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Councilmember Rich.
Thank you. Have a good night.
There being no further business to come before this council, this meeting is adjourned. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, part of it was, yeah, right?